Hello, my dear friends. Interesting one today. There's a guy in America, and his name's Sean Graham, and he has set himself the interesting task of trying to review all of my solo and collaborations and the church, I believe, on YouTube.
You are watching The Steve Kilbey Show with Sean Graham.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Steve Kilbey Show. Quick couple bits of business. We're going to switch it up today, number one. So get excited. Number two, the shout out is going to go to a fellow YouTube person who posts a lot about the church. If you check out their page, they repost, it seems like, a lot of interviews with Steve Kilbey and church live stuff. Very comprehensive. You can check it out. A lot of great stuff there. And that person's handle is Rob Home Movies 12. Rob Home Movies 12. Thank you, Rob, for watching these videos. Appreciate that. I'm assuming your name is Rob. And for pushing me to go back. So we're going to go ahead and we changed up the wheel. The wheel now features just some 80s albums from the church only. So we're just going to spin it around, pick one of these records from the 80s, and we'll kind of dive into that. Before we do that, the other thing I want to mention is great news. There's another very lovely couple whose handle is Married to Vinyl. Married to Vinyl. They're also doing a bunch of church stuff on their page. All their videos are really great. They're very into music, and I just ran into them today at Amoeba in Hollywood. So it was nice to get a quick chat in with them. Potentially, I didn't suggest this at the time. I sort of kicked myself at the time after I left. But if they see this, Married to Vinyl, Mark and Leslia, I think it's Leslia. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Or Leslia. Something like that. So sorry if I got that wrong. Anyway, maybe we should do some videos. We could do a video on your page. We could do a video on this page, a collaboration, and talk about some stuff because we have similar interests. Anyway, I noticed him because he was wearing an Of Skins and Heart t-shirt, Mark was, and I was wearing my church hat. So we took a nice photo together. Maybe it'll be posted here. But it looked great, and it was great to kind of quickly chat with them, fellow church fans and all that. And I also was speaking with one of the employees at this record store who told me a quick story about a show that they did with the church in Texas. They didn't say when. I didn't really get too deep into it, but they just were talking about how it was a nice experience. I think they must have opened or somehow been on the same bill. Maybe it was a festival. I don't know. We didn't really talk about it too much, but they liked my hat and were excited to find out that the church was coming to town. Anyway, let's spin. Let's see what we're getting. This is a very awkward angle for me. Oh boy. I didn't really plan this. That was a terrible fucking spin. Clearly it's not unbalanced. Yeah, we got Of Skins and Heart. All right, that was a terrible spin. I'll get better. So, Of Skins and Heart, that makes sense. It's we'll just start at the beginning, I guess. Then that makes that kind of easy. So, anyway, all this chatter to say hello to Mark and Leslie. Hello to Rob Home Movies 12. Thank you, because this is your selection, basically. Of Skins and Heart. Of Skins and Heart, sorry. Let me get that. So I've got it here. Oh, right. So I'm going to talk about two things. So we're going to talk about the album Of Skins and Heart. We're also going to talk about briefly Of Skins and Heart Acoustic Sessions Volume 1, just because it seems to be on brand with what we're talking about. So, Of Skins and Heart came out in April 13th of 1981. And that was the very first release. It was in Australia, and then it sort of trickled out, I think, throughout the rest of the year, and maybe even into early 82, depending on where you lived. But yes, here it is. I love this artwork. It's fantastic. Mark's shirt today, who I ran into, had this great design, which was wonderful. It's simple and beautiful. On the back, of course, of this CD edition, you've got the non-colored out version of the heart from Arista Records. This is this was the re-release. So I think when it came out, it was 10 songs and a couple. So these tracks 10, 11, and 12 on this particular CD weren't the original track listing on the first. I think the first album, when it was actually released, the last two songs were In a Heartbeat and Bus Driver. Both are really good songs, but they are replaced on this bonus track version here. I wonder when this came out. I don't know when this actual CD came out. But on this version, there were 3 additional songs put out, and those were Too Fast for You, Tear It All Away, and Sisters. So let's just quickly talk about this album, right? So this album is the almost classic lineup of the Church that was kind of around for a long time, but basically, you've got Steve, you got Peter, you got Marty, boom, you got those. Nick Ward was on drums during the recording of this album. Steve talks about it in his book, but didn't really go well. Personality was not good, and along pretty quickly, I think before this record was actually released, they replaced him, and so, in fact, these bonus songs, Too Fast for You, Tear It All Away, and Sisters, feature Richard Plug on drums, if I'm not mistaken. He's on all 3 of those, and Richard Plug was the drummer for a long time with the Church. So that's kind of the classic lineup. It's sort of almost there for this very first album that came out in 1981, which was recorded at 301 Studios in Sydney. You're going to notice a trend if we are going chronologically. I think definitely the next few albums were recorded there as well. So they were, and I think that studio is definitely still around. It's a huge studio, I believe, maybe one of the biggest in Australia, maybe the biggest in Sydney. I'm not really sure. But this is a really good CD. I mean, it's kind of crazy to me to listen to this and think that they didn't really explode when this album came out, because for me, it's a really strong debut album. There's so many good songs on it, even if you are looking at the original 10 songs. You got track 1, For a Moment We're Strangers, which is excellent. Chrome Injury, I love. The Unguarded Moment was a big hit for them. I remember when I first saw them in concert, Steve did not appreciate... That's not the right word. He didn't like playing the song live, I think. I don't think he loves the song, but I think the band kind of gets him excited to play it, maybe. And it's a great song. I mean, it's so poppy, it's so catchy, it's a lot of fun. I think, there's nice harmonizing going on in there. The background singers are great. The band, when they're singing in the background, is really great. I love that. I love track 4, Memories in Future Tense, I think is excellent. Bel Air, very good. Is This Where You Live is great, and it's, kind of a little bit of a taste of things to come with the Church's career, I kind of think. It's a long song. It's got different things going on. It's like a 2-part song. There's a bit of a vibe for a minute, and then it kind of switches into something else. And I really like that. She Never Said is so good. It's just so fun. I love his vocal style on that song and the way he sings. She never said. It's just funny. I like it. He's great. And then Fighter Pilot Korean War is very good. Don't Open the Door to Strangers is good. Too Fast for You, Tear It All Away, and Sisters are the bonus tracks here. I'm trying to think, the melodies are good. I feel like for a while on the first few albums for the Church, like people in the, the critics in the magazines were kind of saying that the band was good, but that maybe Steve's vocals were the weak point, right? That's what I've read. I don't believe that, but that's what they say. And Steve, I feel like, is always kind of bagging on himself a little bit, but I think his vocals are good. There's something unique about it, and I appreciate that. I think it fits really well with the music, definitely with the lyrics. So I like it personally, and that sort of rough around the edges vibe that you kind of get on this first album of Skins and Hearts is something I really like about this, because again, I think it's a great debut. It's, a band finding its way, but also a band that has kind of found a sound, right? It may not be their sound forever, this whole thing that's going on this album, but it's close to kind of what they do, and then sort of shapes into different things on the next few records. But I really like this album. I think it's a great, like I said, debut. I feel like fans also really like it. It seems frequently when you're looking at people who are doing reviews of Church music, specifically just Church, not all of Steve Kilbey, the first 5 records are kind of always, maybe the first 6 are the ones that people list first. It's rare that I'm seeing people who seem to love stuff that came later, past the 90s. Definitely there are fans of that stuff, me being one of them, but I just feel like it's not common, right? I think people were like, oh, they really had a great output in the 80s, which they did. And, it starts here, right? So, yeah, I feel like it's very good. I read something funny about this that I wrote down because I was just looking on Discogs to see what other versions of this are out there. There's a vinyl version that was released recently, a remastered version that's on white vinyl that I'm kind of interested in picking up, curious if it sounds good. But anyway, in doing this, I saw this person write, I'll read it somewhere over here. Pretty good album. I found a copy dumpster diving. Not the greatest of hobbies. Broken glass, rats, business owners screaming at you, gangs, people threatening your life, knives, avoiding security, trying to be secretive, etc. Blah, blah. I just thought that was really funny. I don't know if this person actually was dumpster diving. They're making it sound like they were. I kind of think they're being funny, but I just thought that was a really funny thing because this came out in 81. I'm picturing somebody dumpster diving in 1981 to find this album. Anyway, so again, lots of great songs on this. She Never Said, they had this lyric I wrote down that I really like. I parked my car by some memories. I'm not going to sing it to you. And I told my story to the laughing trees. They don't know what's wrong with me. She never said. Just great. Like, I feel like coming out of the gate, you get that Steve Kilbey, that sort of lyrical whimsy that happens a lot in his stuff, right? There's a lot of more straightforward sounding lyrics anyway in their first couple albums. Stuff that sounds, at least it fits more with more sort of a general pop sounding music vibe, I think, better. I feel like as they go along, not only does the music progress, but so does his lyrics in a different style, almost. And you get little bits, though, of kind of what they're known for in the 80s in this first album, but also stuff that is to come, right? And there's things like that in that. But She Never Said is such a good song. It's probably my favorite song on this album. Although, again, I throw really good. Sisters, I really love. Even though it was a bonus track, I think it's great. Is This Where You Live is so good. It's a really solid debut. I cannot recommend this highly enough. If you don't have it, what are you doing with your life? So we'll quickly transition to talk about this. This, Of Skins and Heart, came out in 21, 22? I want to say... I wrote it down somewhere. Yeah, it came out in 2022. So it's basically just acoustic versions of almost all of the songs. It does use some of the versions from the bonus track CD. So you got For a Moment With Strangers, Chrome Injury, Unguarded Moment, Memories in Future Tense, Bel Air, Is This Where You Live, She Never Said, Sisters, Tear It All Away, Don't Open the Door to Strangers. So I really like She Never Said and Sisters. I like Sisters in particularly. The acoustic version is really nice, as is Memories in Future Tense, which is, again, a song I really like. I'm not sure if a lot of people like Memories in Future Tense or not, but it's one of those songs that I heard it and I thought it was kind of a throwaway, but every time I put on the album, it's the one I seem to come back to the most. It just interests me. There's a lot going on there that I really like. When I bought this, I bought it from Steve's site directly. So I got a little signed, a little love Steve there. So this came out in 2022. It's a nice accompaniment, to this, but I don't know if it's necessary unless you're a completist, The other bit of business we have before we leave this video is, this is not final, but I'm working on something here, and that is called the Kilbey Leaderboard. So I'm going to start ranking everything I've listened to, or everything, not that I've listened to, but everything that I've talked about only, right? So today, you can see here, we got at the very bottom, all this stuff that I've kind of already reviewed. If you're interested, you can take a look at that, right? And here's the top. So far, the thing that I've reviewed that I like the most is that Hypnagogue / Arrow Zeta. I'm going to put them together because they're kind of, to me, a companion album, and it's a lot of songs, and it's excellent. So, with that in mind, since we've now done, I cut out little ones for all of these potential 80s ones here. So we got Church of Skins and Heart, and then the acoustic version of that. So where am I going to put these on it? You're going to find out right now. Let me get my little tape out, my little tape gun here. Little football helmet. Get excited. Yeah. So we're going to be back, and we're going to be talking the 80s for a minute. All church, just for a little break. The new Kilbey Kennedy is out, and I ordered it. It's on its way, direct from Australia. So when it comes in, I will go ahead and be the... where am I going to put this? Where do I want to put this? I know where I'm going to put this. I got it. Hang on there. So when that comes in, I might, if I'm not done with this by the time the new Kilbey Kennedy arrives, I'll probably review that because, got to do that. So I'm going to do this. I feel good about this. So I've just added both of these, and, all of them are good, right? There's not a bad one on here. It's just kind of, it's just how I'm ranking the ones I've currently listened to. So I'm going to put at the very bottom of everything I've listened to so far, the Of Skins and Hearts, because it's just acoustic versions. It's a nice, like I said, companion piece. It's really nice to hear, but it's not going to be something I'm going to grab right out of the gate to go. I'd rather just listen to the actual Of Skins and Heart album, and Beauty in Forlorn Places. Kilbey Kennedy's right above that, I would say. And then I'm going to put the original album right there, Of Skins and Hearts. So I think, fourth right now, Hypnagogue Eros Zeta. That Kilbey Kennedy box set, man, that's a fucking banger. I think about it all the time. I, first of all, love the physical aspect of it. I should have ordered the vinyl, too, because it's just nice to have. I love looking at it, love looking at the photos, the imagery, and I love that music. So that's up there, number 2. I really dig that second Speed of Stars album. I kind of can't stop listening to that. So those are my top 3, and then I'll put Of Skins and Heart at number 4 right now. So that's where we're at. We're going to end it. Again, thanks Rob Home Movies 12. Appreciate you watching. Really, really appreciate that. I'm going to get through. I know you specifically were curious about Blurred Crusade. Don't worry. It's on this wheel, and it will be one of 5 things that I'll hit next. So it's coming. It's all 80s stuff, though, so get excited. And then Married to Vinyl, Mark and Leslia. Hopefully I'm saying your name right. Sorry. Hit me up, because maybe we should do something together. I forgot. I wish I had some pins. I've got some Steve Kilbey Show pins I can give you guys. We can send those in the mail if you want to hit up. Maybe if you watch the last video, I think Will, the host of this channel, he posted his email address. If you hit him up there, we can maybe talk separately about potentially doing something on your channel, something on our channel if you want, and getting you some pins. So anyway, talk to y'all soon. Thanks so much for watching.